Welcome. You're just seconds away from the Brian Brawdy Show, where listener participation is strongly encouraged. Well, unless, of course, you're easily triggered, then listener discretion is strongly advised. And if you fall into the latter camp, why don't you just mortal up already?
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
Good afternoon by a minute and a few seconds. Welcome to the 531st episode, hard to believe, of the Brian Brawdy Show. Today's titled Same Old, Same Old. Wayne, thank you for everything. As always, Darren, good morning to you as well. Nice to see you. Hope all is well with you. Now, if you're new to the show, if you're listening on, let's say, YouTube, or you're listening here on Facebook, maybe you're catching the rebroadcast a bit later on Twitter, on what else, Wayne? We got Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, or maybe you're listening. You know, big news out this morning in the radio industry is more and more people are listening in their cars. So thank you for taking us along as your virtual hitchhiker, if we fall into that camp with you, on radiobry.com, of course, mortalup.com. You can listen there as well. Thank you so very much. All right, now that we're into the thick of it, and it is thick, so to speak, right? We're in the thick of it. You know that we kick off every show until Twitter stops its craziness. So, Wayne, why don't we go ahead with cut one, and we'll jump right in. The question begs to be asked. So we will. Twitter, a bird of prey, a voracious raptor, or a little Tweety bird? You make the call. Yeah, I know. It keeps tweeting. I have to close my mic every time. I heard that bird of prey. And it's just like a pterodactyl. It just still kills me. All right, so here you know until Twitter gets off the neck, off the throat, until Twitter lightens up and lets the New York Post, which I don't know if you know this, but we've mentioned it from time to time, they're the number 4 news agency in terms of the followers on Twitter. But Twitter says, oh, no. Little Jackie Dorsey says, don't you even think about it, right? We're gonna bully you around until you pull the Bunter Hyden story. We're not going to put you out anywhere. So as you know, every day to kick off the Brian Brawdy Show today, no different. We're going to lead with the top 3 stories on the New York Post just to give Twitter a good old, right? Just to say to Jack, come on, Jack, get your head back in the game. All right, number 1 story. This is from Mitch McConnell, apparently. He says the Barrett confirmation, and of course he's talking about the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. He called it a birthday present, right? That's his quote, birthday present for Hillary Clinton. It's a wonderful birthday present, as he calls it. Oh, you talk about a wry remark about the former presidential candidate who turned 73 on Monday. My God, can we get anyone running for president that isn't like 65 or older? Really? You know, the senior tour in golf has a senior tour. Can't we move some of this? I don't even want to say dead weight because people will go, oh, are you wishing death on any politician 70 or older? You're right. That's what I was doing. Needle nits. So, but could we not get some politicians that are less than 70-year-old? Maybe. So in any event, that's the number 1 story. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hillary. Happy birthday to you. Here's the Supreme Court position for Amy Coney Barrett. Celebrity and voices were impersonated. All right, so the number 2 story, Michael Moore, you know him, you love him, all of them. Kind of hard guy to get both arms wrapped around, but in any event, you know him, you love him. Filmmaker Michael Moore warned against underestimating President Trump by saying the vote is always being undercounted. The left wing, I'd say he's a left-wing documentarist who accurately predicted, well, he and I share that in common, Wayne. I don't know if you know that, but I predicted, the moment I saw President Trump ride down the escalator with his wife. I said, there's your boy. There's your guy. There's the one that's going to win the election. But he says, look, the pollsters, he still doesn't believe him. First of all. Second of all, Trump vote is always being undercounted. So there you have it. The second story today, kicking off from the New York Post. Let's see. Let's grab another one here quickly. Ticked off public demands the end of daylight savings time. So maybe that's something we should discuss at some point, Wayne. The whole controversy over daylight savings time, what all that means. Well, New York Post, they got their finger on the pulse. They're in, and they're covering that story today as well. So there you have it. All the story, the top three stories at least that we could squeeze in from the New York Post, as long as Twitter is going to block them, as long as Twitter is going to keep their account closed down, we're going to do two things here at the Brian Brawdy Show. We're going to retweet the story, right? The Hunter Biden. Right, that's right. I got it right this time. Hunter Biden story. We're going to continue to retweet that. Hello, Miss Putnam. Let me say hello very quickly. We're going to continue to retweet that story a couple hundred times a day. And, of course, we're going to kick off this show with the New York Post's their top three stories. Dave, good evening. Dave says, yeah, because everyone wants a 3:30 a.m. sunrise. I know the best part of waking up, Dave, is a 3 a.m. sunrise. You may not know that. That was going to be Folger's original commercial. The best part of waking up is Folger's in your cup. No, the best part of waking up is, hey, you do it at 3 a.m. The birds start to chirp because the sun is up. All right, Dave, thank you so very much. Hope all is going well, brother. It's been too long. Let's catch up whenever you can. All right, so Wayne, what else are we working on? What's going on in your world today? What's new and exciting?
Well, as you know, this morning, sorry about that.
That's okay.
As you know, this morning, it's been a pretty busy morning.
Yeah, it has been.
So, again, I haven't had a chance to keep up with the news. I've been basically just trying to get things ready.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you, sir, for all that you do. And speaking of the things that you're trying to get ready, let me just say to Dave, you want to get up early? Have a 10-year-old boy. Okay, Dave, now Dave's always like, Brian, why do you always have to one-up me? I'm not one-upping you here. I'm two-upping you, if not three-upping you. I have three younger children that live in the house here. My older kids aren't up that early, but my three younger kids, like 7, 5, and 3, you don't want to get them up at 3:30 in the morning. I can tell you that one, brother. So I absolutely feel your pain. All right, Wayne, I know you're busy. Do you have time to show the thing that you worked on, which I thought was really cool? Just pick one of the ones because you deserve a drum roll. When it comes to creating the graphics, you know how to nail it. You want to do one of those? You want to wait a little bit? Oh, I love this one. Oh, yes, that absolutely deserves a drum roll. The new logo for RadioBry.com, unfiltered, unfettered, and unafraid. Wayne, thank you very much. You know me. I absolutely love that logo. I love all the logos that you do, and we're going to be getting to another one here in a little bit, talking about some of the voicemails that people leave when they call in. We got all kinds of cool things to be able to do. So, Wayne, thank you very much for that. All right, so we got the New York Post under our belt. We've got everything that Wayne's doing here for Radio Bry, and I'm just saying, take us with you if you want, right? That's all I'm saying. Is take us for your ride. If radio is really up, is everything is through the charts, we're a virtual hitchhiker. You can throw us, right? You can throw us in your cup holder. You can put us, we love out and about, running around. We're like a lab sticking his head out the window. Celebrity voices by dogs impersonated. We're like a lab. We're ready to go. So whenever you're out and about, running around, we're ready to be with you. All right, Wayne, let's go ahead and jump to our second cut, and then we're going to get ready for my next segment, which I'm fired up about.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
Let me see. Darren says, I start work at 5 a.m. My day starts at 3:15. It's always dark. Well, you know what? I see Dave's point, and I see Darren's point as well, but the daylight savings time, I've heard people say over the years, Wayne, they're not fans of it. I'm up regardless. Right? I can write down, it's always dark in this studio, so I never know what's going on. Let me also concur with our voiceover, our artificial intelligence voiceover, that the views expressed by folks here on the Brian Brawdy Show are not always the views of our sponsors, who I should thank right now, Certifiable Brilliance, and, of course, Counterpunch.media. Wayne, I'm very excited. We've got all the hiccups worked out from yesterday, all the phone hiccups. And you know why that's of interest to me? It's just like UPS yesterday said, oh, Tucker. Don't worry. We found the contents of your package. So now, right, just in addition to calling into the studio, we can actually hear your call. So the contents of the call, your voice, just like that, we found it now. We know what's going on. We were on with the other company for a good bit of yesterday afternoon, the company that does all the phones. It's all very technical. It's clearly over my head. But we were on the phone yesterday getting all that dialed in, and we're happy to say that is now working. All right, Wayne, what are we looking at next?
Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today.
I recognize that guy. What's with our lowlifes making headlines? Always slapping their hands around in the air. Of course, Andrew Cuomo. Did you see where he had that state trooper sentenced to Siberia? Which, if you're familiar with upstate New York, being north up at that border, the Canadian border, it's the same thing as Siberia, right? They get 487 feet of snowfall a year up there, right? It's just amazing. But in any event, he didn't like it that the state trooper was playing slap and tickle with one of his daughters. So he claimed to do something or other about protocol or this or that. And they, right? So he got to that state trooper and said, look, you better tell him that this was your wish, right? That you better get there and tell them that you wanted to be transferred back to B Troop or F Troop or whatever it was, right? You wanted to be traded back up there, so now that trooper's gone. But that's not why Cuomo is our low-life making headlines for today.
Don't stop there, though.
Why is that? Well, that's not why he's it. Why am I stopping?
They transferred him way up north, 100 and some odd miles away up by the Canadian border.
Yeah.
But he is still dating his daughter.
God love him. That's what I like about troopers. I got a lot of friends that are troopers. I'm from that part of New York. Talk about upstate. I love it. And he's doing the commute. He's doing everything else. So, second raspberry of the day going out to Governor Cuomo. Aw, you can't separate love, right? You can't separate love. And you give him a state police car. You give him a trooper, a patrol car with red lights. He can drive from that post at like 120, 130 miles an hour, all lit up to get down to see the governor's daughter. So I don't think that plan's working out. But again, that's not why he's our lowlife making headlines for today. He is because, did you see the article yesterday, Wayne, where he said, I hold President Trump accountable for absolutely every COVID death in the country. I blame President Trump.
I heard that.
Right? So Cuomo falls into the same category as James Comey, falls into the same category from C-Scam. What's that guy's name? Steve Scully. Always looking for someone else to blame. So Governor Cuomo, and be prepared. Wayne will get you, and it's your certificate is ready to be framed, right? It's crafted to be framed. Once you get it, Wayne will get it out to you in Albany, wherever that address is, or maybe just send it to the state trooper. That guy's going to go down and see the governor's daughter. I say, Wayne, let's just send him the lowlifes making headlines certificate. That would be pretty cool. Let's get it down to the trooper. He can hand deliver it to the gov. In any event, here's the gov going, it's not my fault that I sent every one of those nursing homes. Not my fault that I guess he asked for ventilators and PPE and all these other things, and the president makes sure. The president sent like a ship into the harbor in New York to make sure that he could do everything he can. And I think like maybe 3 people made it to the ship. Well, I think that's all they had to send was like 3. It's like going to a Clueless Joe presidential rally. Like 3 people, right?
Yeah, I sit down and try to figure this all out.
What's that?
New York sold off all the respirators they had in storage at a warehouse.
All right.
Never replaced them.
Yeah.
Then they're screaming that they don't have them.
All right. That's clairvoyant. Good thing these politicians have their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
Then I'd like to hear, because I haven't been able to find it, where Trump said, take COVID patients and put them in the assisted living facility.
I'm with you.
He never said that.
Never said that.
The Cuomo executive order said that. So if anybody's responsible for mass murder of people, it's Cuomo.
Again, not that in and of itself, you're thinking to yourself, well, Brad, that's why he's today's low life making headlines. No, but in addition to that, instead of taking responsibility, he writes a book, right? And in it, and all the media around it, he's blaming someone else for something that's his fault. It's like James Comey testifying, it's not my fault, it's the career intelligence officials that did it. Get McCabe in here, get Strzok and Page and whoever else all their names are. Get all them in here. It's their fault, not my fault. Or Steve Scully. No, I didn't send that tweet to Anthony Vermicelli, whatever his name is. I didn't send that tweet. It was a hacker. Can anyone in the political realm, anyone in the bureaucratic behemoth, the legislative leviathan, can anybody own up and say the buck stops with me, it's my responsibility? Or do you crap weasels have to always look for someone else to finger, someone else to point to, someone else to blame? Is there anyone out there, Wayne, that'll just go, yeah, you know what? My bad. I feel horrible about it. My mistake, but I need some, culpable deniability? What is that term? I forget that term all the time. Plausible deniability. Culpable deniability. Oh, be that word true. Plausible deniability. I have to blame someone else. I couldn't possibly be at fault. How could it be me? So that's why he makes today's lowlifes making headlines, because Governor Cuomo, it is your responsibility. You are allegedly the chief executive in that state. It was Governor Cuomo. You're the guy. You're the guy making the decisions there. Not the president, not anybody else. You can't find a fall guy. You. Now, I know you're thinking, well, maybe Fredo's the fall guy. No, you're the fall guy. Own up to it, right? Accept what's coming. It's your responsibility. I have to tell you, Wayne, I think I would actually vote for Cuomo in some type of election. I don't know what it is, but if he had come out and said, no, it was a mistake, heat of the moment, didn't know what I was doing, and I will spend the rest of my life begging the families to forgive me, I think he'd be at 95% in the polls. I think everybody, who is it, Chelsea Handler? Yeah. Saying that she wanted to date the governor as soon as she's done. Is she going to date now? Because she wanted to right? She was going to do what she could to change 50 Cent's vote. Is she also now going to date Ice Cube and Lil Wayne to keep them from voting for President Trump as well? So is Chelsea Handler going to be out there and going, oh, man, I got a whole laundry list. Talk about the clipboard of doom. Talk about the clipboard of doom. Is she going to be out there now going, hey, I'll have to be dating all these people just to make sure they don't vote for the president? It's insane. Can one person, except Chelsea, can one person accept responsibility for what they do? I think it would be huge. And that's why the governor wins today's lowlifes making headlines. We'll have to and I got a lot of texts yesterday, Wayne. I should just say this before we run to the next segment. I should say yesterday when people say, why would you pick on the Girl Scouts? Why would you pick on this squad member, whatever her name is, Presley? So stupid, you got to spell the last name with two S's, right? So simple, you got to spell the last name with two S's. Alina, however she pronounces her name, Presley, right? For saying, oh, this woman is the antithesis. Amy Coney Barrett being supported to the Supreme Court. Let me just say, you don't want to be the lowlifes making headlines, Girl Scouts? Don't retract your tweet. Stick with it. Congratulate the fifth female, right, elevated to the Supreme Court. Stick with your tweet. Don't let someone bully you. Because you know what? You allow other people to be bullied because you fall for it. Let the squad members. I wish the squad members would, right? They're busy texting, talking about, oh, you know, AOC, you look great in that $14,000 leisure jumpsuit. Let them try to blackball me. Let them try to ghost me. Let them try to do whatever. Let them try to bully me. You crap weasels. So that's why the Girl Scouts, just to clear it up, that's why the Girl Scouts were yesterday's lowlifes making headlines. Make a decision, send your tweet, and stand by your original thought. All right, Wayne, let's run to our next little bit.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests.
Yes, we do love our guests. And it's because, Wayne's going to get to this in a little bit, but it's because of one of our guests that we have this entry today. Well, supposed to be the clipboard of doom. Oh, I screwed that one up again. Well, believe me, the sound effect was going to sound really good. 4, the clipboard of doom. So here it is. We hear all this talk about Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, all these other things. Well, we got a lot of feedback from it yesterday, and then this morning, Wayne, thank you very much. Wayne's putting up the new logo. Well, you want to go ahead and play that? We play that first soundbite, Wayne?
This is Michael from San Francisco, actually born in San Francisco. I just wanted to say I think you're really onto something with this Generation Pissed.
All right, so Michael, thank you very much. Generation Pissed. That's exactly what we were talking about yesterday when we go, look, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, Generation all these other things, right? But then how about us? Everyone's saying, oh, the boomers, the boomers, the boomers. No, there's people, and I absolutely agree with it, right? As Darren says, grow a spine and mortal up. Darren, let me make sure I just interrupt long enough to figure out how to put a heart on that thing. If I can't, maybe Wayne will. Hold on. I think I got, hold on. I think I got a heart coming for you, Darren, right there. There you go. Yep. Grow a spine and mortal up. Absolutely agreed. So, as Michael said yesterday, this whole generation pissed. Oh, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, the millennials, you're all baby boomers. Yeah, well, there's a whole group of us baby boomers that are just generation pissed. We work really hard to get the country, to get our environment, to get our lives up and running and where we go. Were we always perfect? No. Did we make some mistakes? Sure. But we're doing everything we can. Last night, out trick-or-treating, and I thought this was kind of telltale. Out trick-or-treating, right? Running around in the rain with all the Mandalorians and princesses and everything else in the neighborhood, right? Out running around, a patrol car pulls up, and the patrolman thought it was very nice. The patrolman has a Halloween bag full of candy, and he lets the little kids walk up to the window and pick out the candy that they wanted, which I thought was really nice, right? Not to scare little kids about walking up to patrol cars. I thought it was a great little touch. And I heard one of the moms say in the crowd, well, there's some white privilege for you. You wouldn't see that happening in another neighborhood, another Gen Z or X Z or Y, XYZ or whatever that generation was, right? And you have to introduce on Halloween when little kids are walking up to a patrol car to get some candy, you have to introduce white privilege? Are you kidding me? So Generation Pissed was just enough mashugana already, enough nuts already. Can we just enjoy life? Because Stossel was right when he wrote yesterday, or maybe the day before, over Reason.com. My friend Patricia was right when she put a post up here on Facebook going, look, after the election, we're going to find a way of getting along. I mean, right, after all the riot, after everything where everyone gets to throw their little hissy fit, regardless of who wins. Everyone who wanted their guy to win, if their guy didn't win, they'll be throwing a hissy fit. There'll be riots. There'll be raping and pillaging and carrying on and all these other things, right? But sooner or later, we're going to have to try to get along. That's all we're saying. So Generation Pissed came to me when it was like, look, we're tired of all the infighting. Can we just get back to life? Because it's great to even be here at all. So thank you all for Michael. Thank you very much. And for everyone else yesterday that talked about, about Generation Pissed and why that's so important. Because there's a whole group of us that have had enough of your mashugana. All right, Wayne, what are we going to run to next?
Well, we have another voicemail we can throw up there.
Oh, let's do that.
Hey, Brian, it's Kurt. Mortal up, my friend.
Kurt, mortal up to you too as well. Thank you so very much for leaving us a message yesterday, trying to call while we're getting in. Well, we've worked out some of the phone stuff. Kurt, mortal up to you as well. As Darren says here in the feed on Facebook, grow a spine and mortal up. So, Kurt, thank you so very much for the call. Thank you for listening. We hope you're doing great. You know what, Darren, I don't want to walk away from this just yet. But the grow the spine, when I originally created Mortal Up, when I crafted the idea, I called it the Tao of spine, right? You've heard the Tao of this, the Tao of that. Well, I called it the Tao of spine. So it's very interesting that you say grow a spine and mortal up, Darren, because that's exactly what I was thinking about. And, of course, my belief that everything you've ever needed, you've always had. You have the ability. You're the one that's going to draw your line in the sand when it comes to your freedom, your liberty, your ability to run the labyrinth of life the way you see fit. So it's interesting that you say that. Grow a spine. That's exactly what I was thinking about. All right, Wayne, do we have another segment we want to get to here to the bottom of the hour, or is there something else that
I believe we have one more we can get to.
One more.
We
Let's
got
throw
4
it in.
minutes.
Jousting with journalists. Cracking the eggshell intellects parading as reporters.
Brawdy,
Doing their best. Giving the Fourth Estate a bad name. Breaking certain news stories like hitting a piñata with a bat.
Oh, be that were true. Breaking news, I'd break it right in half. Some of the stories, not all of the stories, as we talked about before. There's some honorable news agencies out here. But this today, Jousting with Journalists, I didn't pick, we didn't pick, the team didn't choose just one. But it was the group of them. And, of course, I've got to mention little Jimmy Accosted from the Circus News Network. Hello, Jimmy. I had to mention him. Wayne, you are one sharp guy. Wayne is on top of it. We're back. Thank you so very much for sticking with us. I'm getting a little question mark again, Wayne, but thank you so very much for jumping through all the hoops. There we are. We're back. Thank you for sticking.
Well, we're back on YouTube.
All right. We're back on Facebook, I see, because I can let me see the wave here. I can see here. All right. Another technical glitch.
Oh, this is going to be a fun video to edit.
All right. Well, this show brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you? We'll deliver an empty box, right? That's what we'll do. All right, so we're back. Thank you all for sticking with us as we get back. Oh, yeah, I am waving. As we get back up and running. All right, Wayne, so we'll go ahead and jousting with journalists. I was just going to say, with the great economic news, and then we go down. So maybe they don't like us talking about jousting with journalists. We go down. All I was going to say is with all the great news about the economy, not one news organization ran with it yesterday. Not of the mainstream media. Not one news organization ran with it. All right, Wayne, let's get to the bottom of whatever this is, the bottom of the hour. Thank you all for listening, and we are going to be right back.
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up.
Welcome back. My apologies again for the technical difficulties, but it happens. I guess it's raining pretty heavy. We're getting the remnants of the hurricane that hit the Gulf Coast yesterday or the day before. Henry, let me say welcome back to the dynamic duo. No, I'm like a wedding invitation, right? It's Superman plus one, right? Whatever we do to get back, it's always Wayne. Like, as I say all the time, if you like something that you see or hear, it's Wayne. If you have a complaint, it's pretty good I was involved. Pretty good my fingerprints are all over it. My latents spread everywhere at the crime scene. But thank you, Henry, very much. It's a little more dynamic 1+1. Wayne, thank you. Have we figured out what we were doing or not doing? Or I guess it really just doesn't matter, does it, Wayne?
No, it looks like you had an internet issue down there.
Yeah, you know what? But I was fully on in the other internet things that I had going at the time. So I think one of the things we can talk about is that we'll keep the radio show going through Butts here, because I had full internet feed going for everything here. So somewhere between, right? Just like you could drop off Tucker Carlson's package at UPS. It was fine at the drop-off. Somewhere between the drop-off and the pickup, the contents went missing.
It was a bandwidth. I think we had a drop in the bandwidth.
Huh, what does that mean?
Well, because we require a 4 megabit connection for every connection we have on the upload side, not the download side.
All right.
Most people focus on download speed.
All right.
We don't worry too much about the download speed. We worry about the upload speed.
Right.
So
there you go.
For every connection we make, it's 4 meg of data data required on the upside.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. But here's what we're going to do. We will commit to every day. It's like something else, right? It's like Al Pacino. Every time I get out, they just try to pull me right back in. Right? It's always something. But welcome back. All right, Wayne, we're going to open the phone lines on the off chance even the phones work anymore around here. We're going to open the phone lines and get to your calls.
It's been one of those days, so let's give it a shot.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
And don't forget the hieroglyphics of it, 833-667-8251. You can text us here into the studio. You can call in. We worked on getting all that ironed out yesterday. So thank you for dealing with our hiccups over the last couple of days. We super appreciate it. Give us a call. Give us a text. It's toll-free, no matter how it goes. And look at that. We got one right away. Wayne, I will wait on you. This is the way. That's in honor of tonight's Mandalorian. I like that. All right. So while Wayne's working out the telephone call, we're figuring out what's going on with that. Thank you all so very much for calling in. And we've gotten a new voicemail set up and everything else. And I should remind you that we're going to record your voice. So if you're like, hey, I'd like to leave a comment, you're welcome to. And we'll repurpose that
Brian?
comment. No. I'm talking now.
I'm putting a call through from Colorado.
Oh, there we go. All right. Hi, who's with us?
Well, I think he just hung up on you.
All right. Well, there we go.
It was Kirk from Colorado.
Oh, we had a call from Colorado. All right, Colorado. We're very glad to have heard your disconnect coming from the great state of Colorado. Hope you're well with all the wildfires and everything else going on out there. Try to give us a call back when you can, or you can text us 833-667-8251. We found the contents. We found the zip drive of the box, so you'll be able to get right through when you make the call, apparently. So we think. So we were sold on the bill of goods, right? Just like voting for a politician. You think you're going to get one thing, and it never turns out to be that way. So we're subject to a little bit of that here. All right, give us a text, 833-667-8251. Wait. All righty. This is the way. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Brian.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Kurt, how are you?
I'm good. Your audio is just a little bit low, but let me turn my volume up here.
Oh,
and,
okay. Hopefully you're
just kicking back in my group home, and we're doing good.
Very cool. Well, I'm sorry about yesterday's mess-ups on the phone, but thank you so very much for getting a hold of us. And could I ask, Kurt, because I don't know if you got the message yet, but I called you back. I really was moved by your phone mail message. So to the degree that you can, would you mind if I ask you to just kind of repeat the general idea around your voicemail message? Would that be cool with you?
Yeah, the general idea was just, I really love the show. I really love having you as a friend on Facebook, and we're under lockdown right now here in Colorado, so I just really love the show, man. Keep it going.
Thank you very much, brother. I super appreciate it. And let me say to you that the message that was also terribly moving to me was your personal voicemail message. When I called you, Kurt, to leave you a message a little while ago, you had a very succinct yet very powerful personal voicemail message so that callers calling you would hear that message. Would you mind kind of giving us a gist of what that message was all about? What you were thinking when you recorded it?
What I was thinking when I recorded that was just pandemic, and people just need to hear a friendly voice.
Well, thank you, my friend. And yours was very friendly. I called in, and I'll take it for a minute. I called in to Kurt's voicemail, and it basically says, look, during this COVID, don't forget who you are. Remember what you're capable of. We're going to get through this. Follow your passion, if I believe you said, Kurt. Follow your passion every day. You most certainly were. And I thought it was just a great welcoming voicemail message because it reminded people to just keep at it. Don't let them lock down, right? Your body might be under a certain lockdown, but
Don't let them lock down your head and your heart. And I thought it was a very powerful message.
Yes, totally.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the call. And I, too, appreciate being friends with you on Facebook and having the chance to interact with you as well. So, Kurt, before we let you go, any parting thoughts?
Well, the one thing that I want to impart on the listeners of the Brian Brawdy Show is something that Tim Samaras, the late and great Tim Samaras, told me countless times. Keep your focus on your passions in life and things you enjoy doing. You'll get there. Trust me, I'm doing it.
Trust me, I'm doing it. And you are, my friend. And I thank you for that message. Keep your focus on your passions in life. We're going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. Kurt, thank you so very much for the call. And your, more importantly, thank you for your call in, but thank you for your outgoing message when people call you, because I think if everyone could hear if everyone in the country, now we're not going to give out your number so you don't have to worry about everybody calling you, but if everyone in the country could hear your message about focusing on your passion, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. You're not. I think, brother, we would be in a much better place if everyone heard your message. So thank you very much for that, and we'll look forward to catching up soon.
All right, man. I'll catch you on Facebook one of these days.
Sounds good. Kurt, thanks so much, brother. All right, Kurt from Colorado. Thank you so very much. Wayne, I know we're going to run to another segment. Let's cue that up, and we will go from there. So the phone lines are tied up, are they? Well, you're welcome to leave us a message. And because your voice deserves to be heard, we just might play the recording on air. So sit up straight, take a deep breath, belt it out, and let us know what you're thinking. And because that's important to us here, we talk all the time, Mortal One. Why did we pick Mortal and the numeral 1 to get a hold of us? Because it is, in fact, that in our minds. You are the number one mortal. When you stare into the mirror, you are the number one mortal. So 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1, 833-667-8251. All right, Wayne, what do you got queued up next in the big show? And again, my apologies to everyone with the interruption of the signal. We're glad that you stuck with us. Thank you so very much. Wayne?
I think what we should do
Yes, sir.
is go with this.
Oh, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Wayne has once again delivered, knocked it out of the box. Right? Like you walk up, you put in money in the vending machine, hicks it out. Media Mania, which is why you might be going, hey, why did you do Jousting with Journalists? Why did you pick on the whole media? Because the whole media is responsible for getting us in this mess, which is why we call it Meet the Mess with Chuck Todd. And can I tell you something else, Wayne? It's only going to get me in trouble, but you know what? I have no filter. As we said in the other logo that you created, the no filter. I was listening to an interview the other day, and what's the guy's name? Chuck Todd was on with, golly, the mind is a horrible thing when it goes on you. Chuck Todd was on with somebody, Hugh Hewitt, over at QVC for Conservatives, right? And what's starting to get to me is it's not only the politicians, but it's their enablers in the media that are all, right? They're all in the same gazpacho, if you will. They're in the same thing, and you're just like, you have got to be kidding me. Absolutely have got to be kidding me. They're the reason we're in this mess. Bureaucratic behemoth, the legislative leviathan, all the never-Trumpers, all the never-humans are the ones that I'm always going after. But here, the media mania, as Wayne points out, the New York Crimes, the Washington Compost, the Circus News Network with little Jimmy Accosted, Spitter, Pure BS, or of course you know it as PBS, MSNBC, right? Meet the Mess with Chuck Todd, C-Scam, thanks to our good friend Steve Scully. It wasn't me, nothing to see here. It was hackers. It worked for Joy Reid. Wayne, if we ever do the Dimwit Dialogues, it should be the conversation between Joy Reid from, I believe, MSNBC, and Steve Scully from C-Scam. It should be a conversation of the two of them where she says, well, I blamed hackers that worked for me. And the conversation of him going, well, I blamed hackers that certainly didn't work for me. What could be going on here? Maybe we should do that. I'll tell you, here's what we'll do. we'll do a quick little cue here. Let's see this. This is the segment that Wayne and I are working on for those of you that are interested. You want to be a fly on the wall, right? You want to know what's going on, right? What's the backstory? Here's what we're working on.
Welcome to the Dimwit Dialogues. Thick-headed and thin-skinned? Well, that's not a way to go through life. The very latest from the files of mannequins masquerading as intellects. More proof that the drama kings and queens of the delicate doily world are using their heads solely as a hat rack, spewing dogma so deranged. You better bring a hazmat suit if you decide to pick it up.
So that's what we're working on now, the Dimwit Dialogue. So you go, well, I want to be behind the scenes. I want to hear the backstory. I want to know what's going on. So Wayne and I are working on the Dimwit Dialogues, and we're looking for celebrity, and you're a celebrity in our book, right? We're looking for people that want to have a celebrity voiceover in that role. So if that's something you're interested in, you go, look, I could nail that part, talking about the different, Joy Reid going, just lead with hackers. It was hackers. When you sent that tweet out to Steve Vermicelli, Anthony Vermicelli Anthony Scaramucci is his name, right? When you sent that out, oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. No, right? So just tell them it was hackers. That's what the Dimwit Dialogues is going to be all about. All right, Wayne, I know we got to run to our next segment. Take it away. The poet Carl Sandburg once said, hope is an echo. It bids you yonder, yonder, yonder. Seems he knew the cruel nature of the carrot and the stick, or as I like to call it, the crazy and the shtick. You know what I'm talking about. The snake oil tactics of the motivation industrial complex, the higher consciousness cartel, the self-help cabal, and their goal-setting street gangs. Oh, we have a balm for your brain. A hit of attitudinal amphetamines. We call them aphorisms. They're like drug dealers, one and all. Catch a quick fix, and a few hours later, you're craving. You're jonesing for more of their crap. It's just like heroin. Tell me, how is it any different? I created the Mortal Up concept to act as the Trojan horse for all their inspirational insanity, all their goal-setting gobbledygook. Because it's not about motivation, but memory, your memory. And when you flash back and recall in your mind's eye all the things you are ultimately capable of, moved not by catchy cliches, verbal cattle prods, launched by some hand-clapping nut job, jumping around on stage, spewing advice with all the pomp and circumstance, the bells, the whistles, the vibrating, flashing lights of a Las Vegas slot machine. You're not moved by that. What calls you is the thought of recapturing what is already yours. You see now why I say that motivation is for people that have lost their minds. There's your Mortal Up Minute for today. Motivation is for people that lost their minds, already gone off range, right? Talk about a broken arrow. They're already gone. Because here's what I'm talking about. To be the very best parts of you, you don't need to be motivated. Getting another message here through. Says, much love. Thank you so very much. Mortal Up with Brian Brawdy. Much love right back at you. Thank you very much. Don't forget, 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251 if you want to send us a text, or you can call us Mortal 1, 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1. So here's the scoop. This whole concept of Mortal Up, this whole concept of remember who you are, and you won't need motivation. Now, I don't want to pick a fight with her because she's passed on. She's gone away already. So let's not, right? Or we'll just forget I even said the name. Louise Hayes. Just forget the whole thing. Nightingale, the whole cabal, right? The whole cartel, the whole motivation industrial complex. But she was fond of saying, oh, come, she would paraphrase Wordsmith, come forth, Wordsworth, come forth in the light of things. Let nature be your teacher. She would say, oh, nature wants to hold you in the palm of its hand. Well, it's been my experience from surviving in the backcountry.
hot, off the record times, off the charts times at Badwater Basin in Death Valley. Talked about Death Valley yesterday. Or 40, 45, 50 below zero in Yellowstone, where you had to be careful where you exhaled because it would freeze the camera, freeze your microphone in place. I've had the honor, the pleasure of surviving in some of the worst temperatures, the worst terrains on the planet. And if Mother Nature holds you in the palm of her hand, it's because she's trying to get the other hand around your throat so she can ultimately choke you out. All these people call it the carrot at the end of the shtick, the crazy at the end of the shtick. Oh, come over here, come over here, come over here. But let me ask you, everyone says, oh, well, you'll need a higher consciousness. What's wrong with the consciousness you have right now? Oh, you need to be a better human being. What's wrong with the human being you are right now? Other than maybe a little amnesia, little bout of forgetfulness, right? Little spell of not remembering who you ultimately are. So I don't buy into all this craziness. I was saying to my friend Michael yesterday, right? I've been doing this motivational shtick, studying of this motivational stick for years. If there's any of you that remember, I got on this journey when my father committed suicide. I wanted to figure out exactly what was going through his mind right before he jumped. I wanted to figure out. And yes, I'm getting the text. Thank you so very much. They're coming through, and we super appreciate it. Thank you very much. I wanted to figure out, with all the voices in his head calling on him to jump, where was that one voice of dissent? Where was that voice going, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it? When he opened that window on the 13th story and jumped out, where was he? He hadn't mortaled up. He tapped out. He knuckled under. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone listening. So when we talk all the time about mortal up, it's with this concept in mind. You truly do have everything you've ever needed. You already have it. So what's it going to take to tap into those natural resources? Don't buy into, oh, you need a motivational book, all the shelf help, all the self-help snake oil, all the nonsense, that you're somehow not good enough where you are right now, right? What's wrong with the you that's you? Maybe a little forgetfulness, as we said, but what's wrong with the you that's you right now? What if you don't need tweaked? What if you don't need improved? What if you don't need to petition a higher self? I say all the time, look, I'm perfectly proud of my feral self. I'm perfectly proud of the wild at the core, is what I've called it before. And I'm thrilled to hear about your wild at the core. That's why we do what we do at mortalup.com, right? Because we want to make certain that you bring your very best. And now, it may not be normal for you to bring your very best. You may have bought into some of this stuff. If you've been following me at all, you know that I believe in a philosophical suicide long before I believe in the advent of the physical suicide. So philosophically, don't turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the very best parts of yourself. Why would you ever turn your back on who you truly are? And that's our Mortal Up Minute for today. All right, Wayne, where are we? Have I forgotten anything else? Is there anything else we have going on that I needed to get to? Thank you again for jumping in and figuring out there how to get us back on air. I super appreciate it.
No, I think we've gone through everything.
All right, very cool. So let's do this. A little bit of a recap. Lowlife's making headlines for today. Andrew Cuomo, thank you so very much. Let's just blame everybody else for your mistakes. Let's forget about the Wuhan wheeze coming from China. Let's forget about blaming anyone other than yourself, right? James Comey. It was career intelligence officials. The other guy from C-Scam. Oh, it must have been a hacker. You've heard me say it all day long. How about accepting some responsibility? That we'll understand. Then we went into jousting with journalists. Really? All the good news going on in the market and not one mainstream media outlet can cover it? Really? That's what's going on? I thought you were a news organization. News is like, oh, it's breaking news. It's happening right now. Well, that was happening. Couldn't bother covering that, right? Biden Hunter, whatever his name is, that's breaking news. That's happening right now. Can't cover that. What's happened to some people in the news organization? Not all of them. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
but just some. We talked about that. We also had our new voicemail segment. Wayne, thank you again for getting that all up and put together. Very excited about that now. So if you call in, and as we got today, I can see from here that there were some people that called in and got the voicemail. Thank you, Wayne, very much. People that called in got the voicemail. Leave their voicemail message. You will hear your voice on air, good or bad. You're welcome to call in and go, Bri, we hate listening to you. We'll put that on as well. Thank you. Right? Yeah. Always nice to meet a fan. So before we get ready to go today, I want to talk to you about a little something, a little back and forth that I had on social media. And you may have noticed in the very beginning of the show, before everything went sideways, we had quick text. The media appears to simply be the PR and marketing firms for the divide and conquer psychological warfare operation on the American people. I could not agree with you more. Thank you for the text. It is absolutely that. And I've said before that if you can be lured, you can be led. That's all they want to do, is to be able to divide and conquer. Not just at the macro level, divide and conquer, but they want to be able to divide your mind. They want to be able to divide your head from your heart, because they can conquer your head if they can divide you from your heart. That's what they want to do. That's what they're waiting for. So thank you very much for the text. Let me read it again. The media appears simply to be the PR. They're the enabler, let me add, and marketing firms for the divide and conquer psychological warfare operation on the American people, on people across the globe. I couldn't agree more. All right, Wayne, we will get to it on Monday, but let me just say in the closing minutes, I think all life is royalty. I think all life is valuable. And the suggestion that just the taking of one particular life over another isn't somehow being subjective, I don't believe in it at all. You murder another human being, right? I know it's terribly eye for an eye with me, but you murder another human being, it's time to have your run here in the labyrinth of life forfeited. That's all I'm saying, right? And I know the state, and this is, it almost goes in terms of this text that we just got. The state doesn't want people to, the state has a hard time believing in capital punishment when there's truly no question about it. The state has a hard time because they don't want you coming after them. But if you're going to murder another human being, it's time for you to go home. It's time for return to vendor. And I want to get into it today because I've finally been able, just before the show, to get my head moving in the right direction. But we're going to close with a graphic, just something to think about. Fantastic weekend. We're counting down like we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so very much for joining us here at the Brian Brawdy Show on RadioBri.com. Wayne?
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.